For around 4 million people in Britain, the problem is not only that the pay is low, it is that the pay will not stay still. A shift gets cancelled the night before. A contract goes quiet for a fortnight. A month of self-employment comes in lighter than the one before it, for no reason you can point to. Nothing dramatic happens. There is just an income that refuses to repeat itself. It is the care worker paid for the visits, but not always for the travel between them. The warehouse shift confirmed by an app the evening before, the delivery round that pays by the drop, however many drops there happen to be. The supply teacher who is not called in over the school holidays. Different jobs. The same quiet uncertainty about what next week will actually pay. The bills do not share that uncertainty. The rent is the same, on the same day. So is the council tax. The energy direct debit leaves the account whether you worked 40 hours that week or 12. The phone, the broadband, the travel to the job itself. None of it moves to match the work. This is what insecure work actually means. Not only low pay, an income that will not hold still, sitting underneath a set of costs that will not move. And it is not unusual. Around 4 million people in the UK are in insecure work. About 1 million of them are on 0 hours contracts. About 1 million more are agency, casual or seasonal workers. And nearly 2 million are self-employed on low pay, earning less by the hour than most employees do. The total has grown by around 800,000 since 2011. This is not a strange corner of the labour market. It is one worker in every 8. So what happens in the weeks when the money comes in under the bills? The standard answer is savings, a buffer, something set aside for the lean weeks. Almost all financial advice quietly assumes that buffer is there. For people in insecure work, it usually is not. Across all UK adults, 9% could cover less than a week if their main income stopped. Among people whose income is erratic, it is 25%. 1 in 4. Sit with what that means for a moment. The people whose income is most likely to drop are also the people least able to survive the drop. It is the same group. The instability and the empty savings account are not two separate problems. They are one problem, landing on the same people. And the thinness is not only felt by those already behind. Close to a quarter of all adults, around 13 million people, have what the regulator calls low financial resilience. More than 1 in 8 people with rent or a mortgage said they would struggle to absorb a housing cost rise of less than £50 a month. £50. For a lot of households, there is simply no slack left to give. So when the income dips and there is no cushion underneath it, the gap does not quietly disappear. It still has to be filled by something. Usually, it is filled by credit. The overdraft first, very often. Then a credit card, sometimes high-cost credit, which tends to be used by people with the fewest other options left. In a single year, around 3.5 million adults were using some form of high-cost credit. That number has been rising, not falling. And this is not borrowing for luxuries. Among people carrying a balance on a credit card, the single most common thing they had used it for was everyday essentials. Food, transport, energy bills. Around 3 million people using credit to cover the ordinary cost of living. Then comes the part that makes it grow. The minimum payment becomes a new fixed cost. It quietly joins the rent, the council tax, and the direct debits. So the next month starts a little further behind, with a little less room for the next short week, and the next cancelled shift. In just 6 months, 1 in 10 adults fell behind on a credit commitment or a household bill. Borrowing has slowly become the thing that absorbs the instability of the work. Used briefly at first, then used again. then simply always there in the background. A quiet fortnight, covered by the credit card. A slow week on the app, bridged by the overdraft. The same people from the start, using borrowing to smooth out work that was never smooth. It is tempting to read all of this as a story about people who do not work, or people who are careless with money. The evidence points the other way. Of the people who turn to the country's biggest debt charity for help, around 60% are in some form of work. 44% are working full-time. The modern shape of problem debt is not idleness. It is often a working person whose work will not hold still. Someone whose pay clears the bills in a good month and falls short in a bad one. Put the pieces back together. An income that varies, bills that do not. No buffer to bridge the two, and credit as the only bridge left. Each piece on its own is ordinary. Stacked together, they produce debt with a kind of quiet predictability. Not because of a flaw in the person, because of the shape of the arithmetic. This is the part worth slowing down on. Take the moral story out of it. The same bills every month, an income that refuses to match them, and nothing in reserve to cover the difference. In that equation, the borrowing is not the mistake. It is the only variable left to move. There is also a cost here that never shows up in any figure. The low-level planning that does not switch off. The sums done late at night. The calendar quietly built around pay dates that keep shifting. The effort of holding an uncertain month together in your head. That is real work too. And it never appears anywhere. None of this means you were careless. It means the work was built to be uncertain. And uncertainty is expensive to live inside. If your own income moves from one month to the next, there is one practical place to begin. Money Helper is a free service, backed by government. It has specific guidance on budgeting around an irregular income rather than assuming a steady wage arrives on the same day each month. It will not change the shape of the work, but it can make an unpredictable month a little easier to plan around. If these patterns feel familiar, this channel looks calmly at the realities behind the numbers that so many people live with quietly. You can subscribe for more documentary-style explanations of money, debt, and modern life in the UK.